Alrighty, everybody, welcome in. This is time to main, and we're reading through Zechariah 10, 11, and 12 today. So let's just get into it. The Lord will care for Judah. Chapter 10. Ask the Lord for rain in the springtime. It is the Lord who sends the thunderstorms. He gives showers of rain to all people, and plants of the field to everyone. The idle speak deceitfully. Diviners see visions that lie. Till they dream, till lie. Sorry. They tell dreams that are false, to give comfort in vain. Therefore the people wander like sheep, oppressed for lack of shepherd. My anger burns against the shepherds, and I will punish the leaders. The Lord Almighty will care for his flock, the people of Judah, and make them like a proud horse in battle. From Judah will come the cornerstone, from him the tent peg, from him the battle bell, from him every ruler. Together they will be like warriors in battle, trembling like enemy into the mud of the street, sorry. They will fight because the Lord is with them. They will put the enemy horsemen to shame. I will strengthen Judah and save the tribe of Joseph. I will restore them because I have compassion on them. They will be as though I had not rejected them. For I am the Lord their God, and I will answer them. Ephraimites will become like warriors, and their hearts will be glad as with wine. Their children will see it and be joyful. Their heart will rejoice in the Lord. I will signal for them, gather them in. Surely I will redeem them. They will be as numerous as before, though I scattered them among the peoples. Yet in distant lands they will remember me. They and their children will survive, and they will return. I will bring them back from Egypt and gather them from Assyria. I will bring them to Gilead and Lebanon, and there will not be room enough for them. They will pass through the seas of trouble. The surging seas will be subdued, and all depths of the Nile will dry up. Assyria's pride will be brought down, and Egypt's scepters will pass away. I will bring strength. I will strengthen the land in the Lord, and in his name they will securely, declares the Lord. They will live securely, declares the Lord. Alright. So, the Lord, this is like talking about how like the Lord wants to bless Judah, the land of Judah. Um and he just he wants to make it a peaceful place, a better place than it already was, and make it a place worth being instead of what it was. So, all right, chapter 11. Open your doors, Lebanon, so that fire devour your cedar. Wait, you juniper, for the cedar has fallen. The stately trees are ruined. Wait, oaks of Bashan. The dense forest has been cut down. Listen to the wail of the shepherds. Their rich pastures are destroyed. Listen to the roar of the lions. The lush thicket of the Jordan is ruined. So he's referencing a bunch of trees there. This part right here, he's just basically saying that um he's the way it's referenced, it sounds like it sounds like it's falling, and like again, this goes back to the chapter we were on called the Lord will care for Judah. Basically, he's gonna revamp Judah as a general like city, so that people can live there to be for it a lot better. The actual like beginning of the chapters, they're the names usually reference to what's going on in the chapter also. So there's a way to read through the Bible that like you can reference back to the beginning and see what it is, and you kind of get the example of what the chapter's about. So like this, two shepherds. So it's gonna be somewhere related to that. So this is what the Lord my God says: Shepherd the flock marked for slaughter. Their buyers slaughter them and go unpunished. Those who sell them say, Praise the Lord, I am rich. Their own shepherds do not spare them, for I will no longer have pity on the people of the land, declares the Lord. I will give everyone into the hand of their neighbor and their king. They will devastate the land, and I will not secure anyone from their hands. So I shepherd the flock marked for slaughter, particularly the oppressed of the flock, that I took two staffs and called one favor and the other union. And I shepherded the flock. In 1 month I got rid of 3 shepherds. The flocks devastated me. I grew weary of them and said, I will not be your shepherd. Let the dying die, and the perishing perish. Let those who are left eat one another's flesh. Then I took my staff, called favor, and broke it, revoking the covenant that I made with all the nations. It was revoked on that day. And so the oppressed of the flock, who were watching me, knew it. It was the word of the Lord. I told them, if you think it best, give me my pay, but if not, keep it. So they paid me 30%, 30 pieces of silver. And the Lord said to me, throw it into the pot, the handsome price at which they valued me. So I took the 30 pieces of silver and threw them to the potter at the house of the Lord. Then I broke my second staff, called union breaking, the family bond between Judah and Israel. Then the Lord said to me, take again the equipment of a foolish shepherd, for I am going to rise up a shepherd over the land who will not care for the lost, or seek the young, or heal the injured, or feed the healthy, but will eat the meat of the choice sheep, tearing off their hoofs. Woe to the worthless shepherd who desert the flocks. May the sword strike his arm and his right eye. May his arm be completely withered, his right eye totally blinded. So, Lord's saying he's going to take care of all the shepherds. Basically, he's going to do it in a way that's going to separate the two herds, two flocks. So that way the shepherds um, can get in better control of everything. He says what? Yeah, the prophet went through and separated all the shepherds. So, because that's what God wanted him to do. So, Jerusalem's enemy to be destroyed. Chapter 12. A prophecy, the word of the Lord concerning Israel. The Lord was stretched out, the heavens, who lays the foundation of the earth, and who formed the human spirit within a person, declares, I am going to make Jerusalem a cup that sends all the surrounding peoples reeling. Judah will be besieged as well as Jerusalem. On that day, when all the nations of the earth are gathered against her, I will make Jerusalem an immovable rock for all the nations. All who try to move it will injure themselves. On that day, I will strike every horse with panic, and its rider with madness, declares the Lord. I will keep a watchful eye over Judah, but I will blind all the horses of the nation. Then the clans of Judah will say in their hearts, the people of Jerusalem are strong, because the Lord Almighty is their God. On that day I will make the clans of Judah like a fire pot in a wood pile, like a flaming torch among sheaves. They will consume all the surrounding people, left and right, but Jerusalem will remain intact in her place. The Lord will save the dwellings of Judah first, so that the honor of the house of David and of Jerusalem's inhabitants may not be greater than that of Judah. On that day, the Lord will shield who live in Jerusalem, so that the feeblest among them will be like David, and the house of David will be like God, like the angel of the Lord going before them. On that day, I will set out to destroy all the nations that attack Jerusalem. So the Lord's going to do something here that's going to, he's going to kind of attack the horses and then put people back into perspective that people are much more powerful than these animals that they're using, And the thing about horses is they're used specifically. Horses are used in war a lot. Well, they used to be. They're not anymore. Horses were an important tool during war, and they were really, really respected animals. And that's why, like, he wants to do that to the animals, because he wants to teach the human beings that they, you're stronger than you realize. That's what he's trying to teach the human beings. He's doing that as an example to show, like, let's just say something happens to you, an incident, and the Lord's like, I'm going to show this person how strong they really are. And you get put in this really bad situation, and you're like, why am I going through all this? You get to see how strong you actually really are, and you get to see how, you get to see your own inner strength from the Lord that He granted you when you were born, or like the moment you came into this world, or like if He granted you with that power now, then yeah, He's testing you to see if you're gonna accept the fact that you're strong. And a lot of people don't naturally want to realize that. They want to they don't want to take initiative upon themselves to be like, wow, you know what? I can't do this, blah blah blah. And so they give up on stuff. They'll give up on things. And the one thing I realized about most full-grown men is that they resort to doing something stupid every time things don't go their way. And what I mean by that is, like, you look at the internet, okay? And let's just say there's some guy out there that disagrees completely with the way you're doing things on the internet. All right? He's going to resort to doing something kind of stupid. It's going to be childish like. That's what most full-grown men do. If they don't like something, they resort to some childish acts. These acts that show that they're not their age. Mentally, they, a lot of full-grown men resort to doing childish stuff because they don't like, the internet's a place where we don't actually have to show our age. Actually have to show, you know, it's just weird how the internet works, but like I've been in situations where full grown men, because they felt treated unfairly, they went after me and did something messed up in real life to me, assuming that what they did was okay. So when I go about and do something great, guess what? Those people that actually think they deserve something usually don't get what they want because they're so busy mistreating other human beings for getting exactly what the other human being wants for being a good human being. So at the end of the day, you have to learn to take initiative upon yourself. That's why God's doing this to these horses. And if you can't understand that, you can't let that sink in, then you don't deserve to be calling yourself a full grown adult. Adulthood is about responsibility, taking responsibility for yourself, for your actions, for your ways that are not justified. And if you act upon those unjustifiable ways, you can just call yourself a child then, because you're not doing the responsible thing. And that's why God's doing it to these horses, to these people. So just remember that. Next time you're in a situation you don't like, do you want to go out and be irresponsible, or do you want to be irresponsible? Because if you're irresponsible, you end up in jail too. If you're not irresponsible and you take care of everything like you're supposed to, you end up still living, you know, your free life. You choose. All right. Mourning for the one they pierced. Excuse me. And I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace and supplication that they will look on me as the one they pierced, and they will mourn for him as one mourns for an only child, and grieve bitterly for him as one grieves for the firstborn son. On that day the weeping in Jerusalem will be as great as the weeping of Hadad Rimmon. In the plan of Migdol, the land will mourn, each clan by itself, with their wives by themselves, the clan of the house of David and their wives, the clan of the house of Nathan and their wives, the clan of the house of Levi and their wives, the clan of Shimei and their wives, and all the rest of the clan and their wives. So, he's saying they're gonna mourn for what's about to happen due to the fact that, like, all this, some of them are gonna, you know, these people are gonna mourn about what's gonna happen to everybody in the land. So, all right, yeah, in the Bible, you'll notice that, and this is just in real life too. You'll notice that there's like, so example, we have the sun. It rises every day. We have the night. All right. After the light, there's always darkness. After the darkness, there's always light. So it goes back and forth. Always remember that in life. If something's not going your way, it'll pan out eventually, and you'll be more than willing to have a good day, and like soon enough. So, um, so I want to talk about something here on this hat. Okay, so I picked this up now, and as you can see, it says not all wounds are visible. Okay, PTSD is something I deal with extremely a lot. I deal with it on a daily basis. And a lot of people will accuse me of being and having irrational thinking because I have PTSD. What PTSD is for me is like it's a wound that gets jabbed consistently by another human being because they feel like they've been treated unfairly. So when they feel like they get treated unfairly, they go after somebody like myself to take their problems out on. You know, there's internet YouTubers that do that. There are YouTubers all the time that have this selfish little thing that they do where they won't take care of the problem they have. They'll blame it on a bunch of other people. And my thing is I see this coming from a lot of YouTubers, especially for me, because I'm a smaller guy. I see it coming from a lot of YouTubers that get, you know, they want things handled their way because they feel of utmost importance and they feel because they're bigger than somebody, they're more important than somebody. The truth is, for me, I don't look at you like that if you're famous or if you're a star. Just remember that. You could be you could be one of the most popular YouTubers. And I'll look at you as an average human being because that's what you are behind the screen, behind the camera and all that. So I want everybody out there to realize that sometimes you're treating people unfairly due to the fact that something's unfair on your end. Okay? This goes back to what the Bible spoke about. If you feel like you're being treated unfairly, God might be testing you to see how you feel about things. And listen, if you don't like something that's done, find a better way to deal with it instead of being a little brat. Because you're not gonna get anywhere being a little brat. Nobody ever does. And if you do, it's gonna come back to haunt you eventually. That's what God does. All right? That's why God's always talking about, with some of the people in the Bible. We got to look at it like that. The people in the Bible, okay, God teaches the land and everybody in their actions, you know, how they're unjustifiable most time. And take notice how the ones that are usually doing the best in the Bible are usually the prophets. And usually they're getting attacked. But the prophets are usually doing the best in the Bible because they follow God. They're not sitting there crying. In fact, Daniel versus Babylon, guy gets thrown into a cistern, almost dies. Didn't complain once. But yet we have these blessed YouTubers out there complaining and going after little people because they don't like the way they handle stuff. At the end of the day, it's on you how you handle stuff. Anyway, going back to my PTSD, yes, I have PTSD. I get frustrated a lot of times because people don't leave me alone. People make it act up, and it's a hard thing to deal with. It is technically my demon I deal with on a daily basis. It's one of my very few demons I have that really work on me. And sometimes I have to drag myself out by prayer and everything. Talking about it doesn't always work. And I was told the other day to seek help because the guy telling me to seek help, he has a lot of problems too. But he still acts the same. He still acts like a child. So I want you to understand one thing about yourself. You choose how to be in life. And if I'm gonna state this. I get yelled at for doing things like playing video games, buying video games and stuff like that. There's a lot of you guys out there that have that as a blessing. Do not complain and get mad at somebody for something that they're doing online, especially because you get to sit on your butt all day and complain about video games. Play with toys. I don't get that initiative. I don't get that incentive. I don't get paid to do that. Just understand, you're blessed in that aspect. You need to start respecting that before that gets taken away by God, and you won't like that. So, and one last thing before I go. There's a quote that I go by. Again, I said it before and I'll say it again. And it's very similar to the way I'm saying it, but it's in the Bible. If you can, check it out. I will bless those that bless you. I will curse those that curse you. I will make you into a great nation. Remember, that's how I do things here. That's how I always do things. So if you think I have a problem with you and I'm remaining quiet until I speak up to you, I do not have a problem with you. When I start speaking up with you, it's because you are annoying me and you are acting like you're important. And I don't respect anybody who acts like they are important. So just remember that. Anyway, With that said, and that out of the way, always remember, somebody is dealing with something that you're not. And just clearly start understanding that, because we're not all built the same way. We don't have the same life. And with that said, hopefully you have a blessed day. And hopefully that last thing I talked about sticks out to you, because it's what people need to hear. And if you like what you saw here, hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back with the next one. We're 2 chapters away from finishing Zechariah, and then we're a book away from the New Testament. And take it easy. God bless.